Morning, everybody. I'm Claudio Giannotti. I'm the director of the department of Law, Economics, Politics, and Modern Languages in LUMSA University. I am very glad to start up this sixth innovation talk organized by LUMSA University, by Professor Filippo Giordano and other colleagues, and I want to thank them. Innovation Talk is a format provided by LUMSA University by our master degree in management and finance about technology, sustainability, topics that are real on the desk of the operators. So this morning I'm very glad to introduce this innovation talk to our lecturer, and she is Laura Orestano. But I want to thank Professor Nesci, Domenico Nesci, for having invited our lecturer, our speaker. So I can leave you the floor, Domenico, and thanks again for this organization. Thanks again to Laura for being with us.
Thank you very much, Claudio. Good morning, everybody. My name is Domenico Nesci. I have to make a disclaimer to start with. I'm currently in a public place, so I may need to wear the mask at a certain point in time. Now I'm trying to do it without mask. So I'm really honored today to introduce you to Laura Orestano. Laura is, apart from being an old friend of mine, and very happy of that, very nice friend, but she is also a great manager, a great professional with I would say, a personal attitude to start new things, so to innovate on, let's say, in the work environment she is in. She's currently CEO of SocialFare, and she's also chairman at SocialFare Seed. She will tell us more about it because this is exactly the topic of today innovation talk. And on top of that, she is also director in the board of Cotino Social Impact Campus. So, Laura, too many things to do. In the past, she's been working in a number of different companies and corporations. I would mention the last one, as far as I understand, that is Ferrero. She's been working in Ferrero both in Italy and internationally in different positions. As for the topic of today's innovation talk, the topic, as you know, is about social innovation and impact investing. Laura, in a way, has created the first accelerator in Italy dealing with social innovation and impact investing, whose name is SocialFare. She's still chairing and managing SocialFare, but from what Laura told me in the past, she was there really at the beginning of the idea. She may tell us something about that as well. And that's it. I mean, I would not add anything. So I would leave the floor to Laura. So Laura will have something like half an hour for her presentation of what SocialFare, how SocialFare originated and what it is currently doing. And then after the presentation of Laura, we will have, as usual, a Q&A session. So Laura, thank you very much. I'm really happy to have you with us and with our students. And the floor is yours.
Thank you, Domenico. Thank you, LUMSA, and good morning, everybody. I thank you for this opportunity that you gave me. So lots have been said already, but I would like just to make, I would say, an initial remark. I do not want to preach. I'm not intending to preach and to just show how good one thing may be or not. I'm just sharing my experience and the story on which I'm working and with which I am involved. So just to frame in my background as practitioner. And if you allow me, I would like to share my presentation so that we can follow together what I prepared for you. I intended to give a title to my presentation, which is From Theory to Practice of Change, because most of the time what we are dealing with is actually, and you have heard and studied about that, theory of change. But the main thing is that we all are called now to actually put this change into practice and also to experiment and to share the trials and errors, and I would say also the lessons learned that come out of this practice. I tried to go on, but actually the visualization of the presentation is not working in a way that I can go on. I'm sorry. So I ask for a little bit of help. I try to share again. Sorry, I try again to share again the presentation. Just a moment. And I'm sorry, but it's not working. Can the technician help me? Okay. And in fact, I don't see it anymore. I think we have to try again. Let me see. Okay. The presentation is on and is displayed on my desktop. And I try to share it again with you. Yes. Okay, just a moment. Okay, you now see it. Do you confirm that you see it? I think so. Okay, I go on, and if anything, please allow or write so that I can actually, okay, you're sitting there very well. Okay, so what I was saying before and what actually Domenico was introducing before is a little bit of my background. I come from profit-driven business. Most of my experience comes from that. I work in a big one of the big 500, the Lear Corporation, then Coca-Cola, and then Ferrero Luxembourg, and it also was part of the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee. My focus while working in this profit-driven businesses was innovation, management of intangible assets, brand equity, and change management. So I would say all what regards the soft power of a company that has then to become the real assets for the future. And then I moved little by little to what can be defined as a purpose-driven, no more profit-driven, but a purpose-driven enterprise, and therefore SocialFare Seed, which I'm honored to chair, and I'm a board member in ActionAid, a non-governmental organization, and as Domenico mentioned, I'm also on the board of Continuous Social Impact Campus, which is the focus of my work in these organizations, and mainly in SocialFare and SocialFare Seed. While I'm working on social innovation, how to develop entrepreneurship which makes an impact, and how to accompany the scale up of those enterprises with and by impact investing. But before that, I would like to share with you the scenario in which we all are living, and of course, the scenario that drives also our perspectives in terms of challenges and activities and actions where actually the potential enterprise can stem up from, and also the potential social innovation can actually originate. Well, this is the Global Risk Report of the World Economic Forum that probably you're familiar with. This dates back to 2021, and you see the top global risks by likelihood, where the extreme weather and the failure of climate action were ranked as the first two top global risks. You may see that there was almost no mention about war, about cyber attacks, about terrorist attacks, and so on. Actually, that kind of a risk was laying behind back in the previous years. And you see, we can track them back. Interstate conflict, terrorist attacks, and so on, back in 2017, 2016. All of that has changed so rapidly. Then the top global risks by impact. Again, the same report, ranking by impact the risks at global level. The first, of course, was infection disease, and we know why. I mean, we all come from a pandemic time, a very heavy pandemic time. And then you see at the third ranking, in the third position, there is weapons of mass destruction, and the second, the climate action failure. Again, weapons of mass destruction was again appearing in 2020, and then it was at first place in 2019, 18, 17. But then recently, unfortunately, all of this has changed very rapidly. And then a focus at the European level about the challenge of digital economy and society. This is an index that ranks the different European countries and the challenge that we are encountering at a European and national level in terms of connectivity, human capital, and you read that. Well, you see the European level, at the European Union level, how we are performing, but if we also see at Italian level how we are laying behind. And again, the European Innovation Scoreboard 2020, where we are measured by the European Commissions in terms of innovation systems, we see at a European level the overall ranking that is achieved. You see how the different countries are actually assessed as modest, moderate, strong, and innovation leaders. And you see again Italy that is ranked as moderate innovator. And then again, the European Union progress towards the 17 SDGs. And you see that actually at top level, meaning the SDGs where the European Union feels we are performing better in terms of a continent, SDG 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions. This has become very, very, I would say, topical in these days, in these weeks. No poverty and good health and well-being. But you see how all the other SDGs are actually needing strong progress. And I would even debate on the top three that are shown here as being already as excellent performance. And then the skills. This is something that regards us all. The top 10 skills in 2025, again, the World Economic Forum report, I brought here also the comparison of the same report, ranking from 2015, 2020, and 2025. And you see how different now the scenario is. More analytical thinking and innovation, more active learning and learning strategies, more complex problem solving, as the top 3 skills that are being ranked as necessary for 2025. You see how different vis-a-vis the past. And you see the analytical thinking and innovation, which is actually taking the lead. Analytical thinking means the ability, the capacity to read the stories, to read realities, to understand the data, to be able and brave to make innovation that lead also to make decisions that lead to innovation. And again, the Global Human Capital Trends, this is a report developed every 2 years by Deloitte University Press, and you see the challenges in different regions, and you see the importance of challenges in different industries, and you may see also how consistent they are, how organizational design, leadership, new culture, engagement, learning are actually taking the lead. They can actually be overlapped and juxtaposed. So purpose matters more and more for millennials, for us all, but also in organizational processes and structures. The more the purpose is clear, the more it is consistently supported within the organizations, the more millennials and people are loyal to the organizations, the longer they stay. They stay over 5 years if the purpose is clear, if the purpose is consistently managed. Otherwise, they leave within 2 years if that sense of purpose is not clear, if the values are not aligned, if the mentoring is not received, if the professional development is not supported enough. People are in fact looking for accessible opportunities to integrate social impact into their jobs. But there is still lots to be done at the educational level, at professional level, at operational level, but also at model level. And again, I would like to spend just the last chart sharing the role of technologies and purpose. 3 technologies have been highlighted as being very strong in terms of how to improve our daily life and our well-being. So not all technology is the same. Data and AI, you see, as generating strong impact for health, equal opportunities, environmental sustainability, and then the connectivity platforms, mainly on education and equal opportunities, and robotics. And then, of course, clean tech as regards the environmental sustainability. This is, again, a McKinsey report. And then again, the challenges and choices of Europe, the macro scenarios in which we live, the global trends to 2030 that highlight the main catalyst and the game changers where it's time to decide where our efforts, our money, our intelligence has to be, to convey, I would say, to converge in order to develop new solutions. Planet, aging, new technology, the position of Europe in the world, managing conflict. Alas, this is becoming at the top priority now. Protect democracy, again, a top priority, and encourage equality. And then I would like to share the scenario I'm living in as also expert for the European Commission in social innovation, what I have been seeing over the last years from 2018 to 2021 as a jury member for the European Commission at European Social Innovation Commission. So what kind of projects do we see in terms of social innovation coming to us in order that they want to become enterprises? Well, from Southern Europe, mainly Spain, Portugal, Italy, we see projects that have this DNA, tangible assets, mainly distressed assets, abandoned places, land that is not used for agricultural purpose, factories in decays or abandoned. Well, tangible assets that are no more taken care of, that are combined with the challenge of migrants and youth, mainly the access of young people to employment, to the work market. And then from Central Europe, we see mainly projects focusing on green economy, education, and circular economy. From UK till UK was still participating in the European Social Innovation Competition as a former member of the EU family, we used to see gig economic projects and community currencies. But the nice trend, the very interesting trend that is coming and is bringing to the attention of the European Commission, I would say the perspective of new social innovation comes from Northern Europe in terms of projects that are focusing on intangible assets. So the value of knowledge, the value of relationships, the value of interactions, the value of new solutions that bring together people, intelligence, technologies for social purpose. And then from Eastern Europe, mainly projects coming or being made by and with technology, digital, and blockchain. This is very interesting in terms of outlook, because it actually gives also a kind of orientation to all of us, or where to discover, to explore new trends, but also new opportunities in terms of that new economy that comes and stems from social innovation. So you see how complex the scenario is. You see how different dots have to be aligned and connected. Well, we believe that we need to navigate complexity via purpose. So not via money, not via profit, but via purpose. And this is what we call purpose-driven innovation. Purpose-driven innovation is actually social innovation to us. This is the definition of social innovation as given by the European Commission, that is new models, new products, new services that respond, that meet social needs, social challenges, and create social new relationship, collaborations, and new economy, and enhance the individual capacity to act. So people that develop new tools, that acquire new knowledge, that respond to new social challenges and create new sustainability. Social innovation is most of the time not disruptive innovation, but responds to a more natural way of growing knowledge and, I would say, testing, which is evolutionary innovation. And this is also something that is reflected in very important papers and research that I invite you to read, to have a more, I would say, a wider scope of where we are now and where we should be in a few years from now, if we make the right choice today. So what is our end game, and what kind of a model of innovation better suits our endeavor? And of course, what kind of tools do we need? What kind of knowledge do we have to bring together to tackle these new challenges, which are planetary challenges? Well, SocialFare, and I come here to the point, is a purpose-driven endeavor. And I would like to share with you what we do from this complexity, how we tackle complexity, and what kind of results we have achieved to date. It's a model that I share with you. Maybe there will be better models. For sure, there are better models. What I'm trying to convey is that SocialFare is a model that works. It is the first center for social innovation in Italy. It was born in 2013 as a social enterprise because, again, the way you do things actually determines the way and the results that you will achieve. So we are a limited liability company, social enterprise as per Italian law, and we are based in Torino. In 2016, we also became a certified incubator by the Ministry for Economic Development. We establish large, I would say, networks of partnership at international level. So the first thing that I actually did was to grow the reputation of SocialFare internationally. And that was done via, I would say, vis-a-vis contacts, via international relations, and also via projects that we started back in time. That effort was so important to us that we are now the only social impact accelerator listed in the impact database for impact investing in while actually focusing on Italy. So if you browse the impactdatabase.eu, you will find SocialFare as the only impact accelerator in Italy. Which is our model? This is our model, and I call it a unique ecosystem. It's made by two companies, SocialFare, as I said, and SocialFare Seed, which is again a limited liability company, which is our bank account, our fund that supports the impact investing approach that we accelerate in and via SocialFare, which are our services. So SocialFare provides what are called, generally speaking, non-financial services and what we define as impact services, capacity development, and startup acceleration. So it's a consultancy, I would say a cutting-edge consultancy on social innovation and impact. We perform research, co-design, testing and prototyping, impact assessment, strategy and modeling for corporates, non-for-profit organization, and so on, private and public institution, bank foundation, business planning, investment readiness, and so on. We accelerate projects and startups in SocialFare, in the accelerator. And aside, there is this equity investment vehicle, which is SocialFare Seed, that is provided with a certain amount of capital, of money, which is invested in the companies, in the startups acceleration, and the startups that we accelerate in SocialFare. What do we do in SocialFare Seed? Well, we do the diligence, the execution of the investment in these investments, the exits, the tracking and reporting, and we manage the portfolio that I will share with you in a moment. But as I said, nobody walks alone too far away. We walk together, and we establish a large convergence network at Italian and international level that brings together different partners so that we can actually work together on shared challenges and potential opportunities. A few words on SocialFare Seed and how it works. These are the shareholders. You see that on the left-hand side, bank foundations, but also private institutions such as Finde SPA. We work in this way. We invest, we have around €500,000 per year that is allocated to be invested in the social impact startups that SocialFare accelerates. Usually, we invest for an equity of around 100,000 euros, taking between 10 and 15% of the equity of the company. This is our team, and this is a team that has been growing up. I'm very proud of the team because it's a team that is not only very young, the average age is 32, but there is a strong representation of women, and all of them have an international background. And we are growing fast. Some figures, some data about our impact. To date, we have received almost 2,000 applications in terms of startups from international and national level. We have accelerated 66 startups. We have run 13 acceleration programs. We have invested via SocialFare seed 1.5 million, and our companies have raised 19 million euros. That's a remarkable number. At the same time, with our impact consultancy, non-financial services, we have reached more than 13,000 beneficiaries. We have mentored more than 400 teams. We have run 13 pre-acceleration programs and granted more than 4,000 days of impact consulting activities. The network, as shown you, includes more than 60 partners. We have more now than 15 dedicated staff in our company, and we have created a network of impact investors that come to us every time we hold our Impact Investor Day. And this network is growing fast and now is counting more than 50 impact investors. We have then a big locations, which is located in the city center of Torino, which is almost 2,000 square meters big. So all that to say that we started very small, and little by little, we grew, I would say, steadily and consistently with our mission, with our statement. Our statement is that social value generates economic value. And I would say this is just the opposite that most of the time we are accustomed to see and to read and to say. Of course, economic value may generate social value, of course, but the focus of our efforts starts before, because intentionally we are looking for that intangible value. Remember my background, remember the intangible value and projects that are coming from Northern Europe. Remember the value of the brand, of the knowledge, of the equity, of the interactions that are before the company, before the enterprise that may come, before the project that we may deliver. Well, we are very much focusing on that value, exploring, finding, defining what social value actually is. We believe that this is a big challenge for us all. Too much we give for granted the definition of social value. I believe that we need lots of research, and I would say contemporary research, that redefines the definition of social value and how that may generate economic value. That is what we are seeing every day in our company life. We start for the value, for the purpose, for the mission, for the alignment in terms of values, and we see how consistently and intentionally that may generate also economic value and sustainability. We work with different, as I said, organizations and actors and shareholders. right now, these are our active projects in terms of partnerships in Europe and worldwide. These are our projects active now in Italy. So you see, we are almost working all over Italy at a different level, with different partnership, with different focuses. And we try to use impact investing as a tool for change. I would say that our DNA is specifically linked to the role that impact investing is playing and may play. I mentioned before the impact database of the European Union, and you see and browse also the other actors at the European level in terms of impact investing, what they are doing. But the interesting thing is as to be aware of what, for example, the European Union in terms of strategies is putting together in terms of social impact investing, social finance since 2010 up to 2021, 2022 with the next generation EU. And how also the different countries in Europe are being assessed as markets more or less mature for the for impact investing. You may see that Italy is ranked as a mature performing market in terms of impact investing. So we are growing. So we are growing not only as a SocialFare, but as a country, as a knowledge, as investors, as a policy makers. We are becoming more and more brave. And this is our track record that I would like to share with you. These are the companies we accelerated back in time before the creation of SocialFare Seed. So we helped them raise 2.5 million euros. That time it was not so much. These companies range between 2015 2017, before the creation of SocialFare Seed. Some of them are actually big success cases, such as Italiano Profit, or Epicura, or Jollingo, which became Jolly, and I will talk about that in a minute, or Synapta Contratti Pubblici, which became Synapta after a while. And this is instead our portfolio, where, as I mentioned before, we invested 1.5 million euros and helped them. And actually, to date, they have, these companies raised 19 million euros. So you see, this is quite a remarkable ratio. What kind of companies did we accelerate and did we accompany to raise more money? How are they performing? Which is their value that we have seen? Well, allow me to share some of these investments just to tell you the stories of these companies. Very briefly, I will go 1, 2, so that I do not want to take too much time. Just a couple of them. To show that we range from also highly technological companies to quite more, I would say, simple companies. But all of them have this important intentional value that they want, impact that they want to generate via their entrepreneurial activity. Restorative Neurotechnologies is a spin-off of the University of Palermo, a team of PhDs. We help them to buy back the spin-off from the university to actually be owner of their idea and their company, of their patent, and actually combines specifically curved lens and digital developed rehabilitation gains to improve the cognitive rehabilitation system of stroke hit patients, but also in athletes or in other people that actually have impaired cognitive capacity. Well, this company has this patent, as I said, has been growing steadily, not quickly, was invested by us, was invested by other institutional investors, is now growing fast in Europe. And again, Uno Bravo, which is probably a company you have heard about, was a company that was not even shaped as a company when they arrived in our acceleration program. There were 3 girls, 3 psychologists, who were actually trying to work with Italian expatriates around the clock, providing psychotherapy sessions in Italian language. Well, they developed the platform with us, we invested in them, other investors did follow. Now they are growing so fast that they have actually the line behind their doors of international funds to take a stake in their capital, in their company. Imagine that arrived to us that their turnover was like 3,000 euros per month. They are now in 2 years having a turnover of almost 300,000 euros per month. And again, Calata, which is interpreting the license, the cultural heritage with a unique licensing model that actually takes over the full management of the asset and markets that to tourists in a unique experiential way of visiting the historical heritage asset. Again, important investors, we accelerated them, we invested in them, and now they have 9 different yards, meaning heritage buildings open all over Italy and growing fast. Sepp Jordan, very important company. They came to us really at the beginning of their journey. We invested in them, refugee camps in Jordan. These decoration patterns, they become intangible assets of the different ethnic groups living in refugee camps. The entrepreneurs instructed the women and men how to sew, how to make embroideries on high street market, high street shop fabrics. So producing a unique line of luxury accessories being sold now all over Europe in high street shops, by which they pay a good salary to the women, to the refugees. They get out of the refugee camps, they buy books for their kids, they're able to afford a rent for their own. They're getting out of the chain of the refugee camp. This company is growing so fast that it now has been, I would say, the champion of I would say skyrocketing capital increase, whose terms I cannot disclose, but I mean, it's really growing very, very fast. And again, our lab training on digital coding as an entrance, a gate to give fragile people access to the job market. And again, Homers that actually matches distressed assets with a new co-housing model that allows people to choose the way they want to live by choosing the house they want to get designed for them with the people they want to live with. And Jojolly, the first digital platform that combines the human resources and the restaurant sector, where there is lots of black work, and for the first time brings together people that are efficient, trained, with a good reputation, and they're usually called last minute on the platform, and the platform allows transparent transaction, of course. A good match between offer and demand. And freedom, again, sustainable tourism, where they are ranking and selling touristic, open-air touristic and discovery adventures in specific territories, so promoting also the access of small operators, tourist operators, to the wider outdoor market. Dr. App, where actually this is a patent system where you do not have to line up anymore to access medical service, but you actually, via the app, book your access to the medical, the general practitioner, to be checked at his place, but also at home. And Saving Bad, which is again a unique solution to build little by little your pension plan, your insurance plan, especially for young people who are unfortunately suffering from an unstable employment life. So again, impact investing is all that. We invested in all of that, but we also brought impact investing to the attention of public institutions, where via public bidding, we supported the capacity of projects, as in this case, for example, providing them with additional financial tools and instruments to leverage, so to make these projects become innovative solutions for the territories. Tonight, for example, is another good case where the city was allocated with city of Torino with 6 million euros in terms of European fundings. Again, a portion of that is being allocated as impact investment to support the solutions to the challenge of a better security via urban regeneration. Having said that, I come to the conclusion. We have lots of challenges in front of us, but as we are approaching our new century, I believe that we need to push also for a systemic critical mass change, which includes more open institutional frameworks, the ability to think and act systemically, the focus on citizens and their engagement, the courage to develop financial innovation, hybrid innovation, the ability to develop collaborative service platforms. Too often we speak of service platforms that are not making the case, that are not really useful. And of course, we needed to push for new representation at the policy-making tables, because social innovators, impact investors, social entrepreneurs are not yet represented enough as new actors and shareholders at the policy-making decision level. And then, of course, all that has to be developed and also included in a new storytelling and a new strategic communication that supports us also in terms of national and international partnerships. I went very fast. I hope I was able to convey to you what it takes to change from theory to practice. It's a complex journey, but I assure you, it's a journey that deserves all our efforts and passion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Laura. Very rich, very, very rich, comprehensive presentation of a SocialFare journey, but also I would say how social impact has changed over time in terms of perspectives and focuses in the Italian environment, but also at the European level. You showed us a lot of information about the overall European framework. So now is the time for the Q&A session, and I will break the ice. I have a list of 10 questions, more or less, but I will start from one. Number one, actually. So my first question would be, our students are familiar with investing in general, and some of them also with private capital markets investing, so private equity and venture capital. So how, if it is different, how investing is different from standard investing? So in your judgment, is exactly the same thing? Maybe even beyond the fact that you're looking for impact companies, so specific companies with a specific focus. But overall, you would judge your activity similar to the activity of normal investors or not? And if not, in what
Well,
respect?
of course, there are practices which are quite the same, but in impact investing, as you said, impact is the difference. So we negotiate the trade-off that is actually the difference between the returns on our investments and the impact being assessed as part of that return. And then, of course, if I can say so, probably the propension to risk and also the attention on how to manage risk is different between, I would say, the standard way of investing and impact investing. Because impact is part of the risk, is part of the opportunity, but also is part of the new metrics that we are developing every time. So if there is, I would say, a practice which is quite standard, how we make the diligence, how we make the reporting, what kind of multipliers do we apply, and so on and so on. At the same time, what is actually challenging us in terms of impact investing is the change, the impact we want to reach via our money, via our investment. And if I can say so, I am seeing the shift. I mean, there is lots of evidence now that impact investing is also providing returns that are more or less not comparable, I would say, to traditional investment. Of course, I'm not comparing that to speculative investment. But what I am saying is that more and more also institutional and, so to say, traditional investors are approaching the spectrum of social finance and impact investing. They are becoming more sensitive about that, more interested, and they are also curious of redefining their taxonomy and their, I would say, knowledge, update their knowledge in terms of what can I do with my money, for whom in the long term. So the difference is actually how you start from. And the term impact needs to be redefined every time we approach an investment. So the standardization, I would say, is something that is still missing in impact investing, if I can synthesize my answer to you.
Okay, very interesting that this continuous redefinition of impact, that of course is very true, but it's also very challenging at the same time, I guess. So I have a comment here that your return on investment is insane. So congratulations first, but then what is the the secret ingredient of selecting the right companies? Is
But
there
probably it's
is there
probably
any, or
right.
is just hard work?
It's just hard work, because again, here it's how you train yourself to be an explorer and a discoverer of value. So, in my impression is, and I do not want to sound too theoretical, is that there is um, a well of value which we are accustomed to see as very intangible, very difficult, very time consuming to put to return. Instead, that is not. So it's like having, I would say, a new pair of glasses. Before that, we use only one lens. Now we are using different lenses, and these lenses are actually provided us in view and in line with the challenges we as humankind are tackling, while all that also represents an opportunity. And so the opportunity, of course, has to be explored, discovered, and developed. That's the work we are doing. We started earlier than others, so we are seeing the returns, the results now. But that's why I urge most of you to align to this endeavor, to this adventure, because the sooner you start, the sooner you will see the results, which are mainly positive results.
Very good. Congratulations again. So unfortunately, we have to stop at 1 p.m. So we have few minutes left. I have an urgent question to put to you. That is, you mentioned that social innovation impact is more evolutionary than disrupting innovation. Disruption is a buzzword in the world of standard innovation. So you still believe that in the future, going forward, social impact will be evolutionary, or you believe that there will be a kind of conversion between the evolutionary innovation and the
If I
disruptive?
can If I can make a comparison, disruption, of course, is not always a good thing, as we see, for example, in the pandemic. But we can see also that pandemics is also parts of our, or it's the result is the result also of evolution. Um, so, what I'm trying to say is that evolution in itself may be disruptive. The fact is, again, a question of how we use terms and how we are actually comfortable with the terms and the knowledge that such terms convey. The fact that let's try to think that evolution can be disruptive. And let's try to understand and question how such this evolution and this disruption can be positive, can be supported by all of us with our knowledge and passion and capacity to be positive for humankind and not negative. So there is a question of what is available, and there is a question of how we intervene in what is available to shape it for the better of all of us, not just a few of us. That's why evolution is so interesting as a concept, because evolution usually regards the many and not just the few, as disruption could usually instead start from. But my challenge is to consider evolution as a new way of disruption, mainly because disruption can be a positive action, the positive action that we apply to evolution if we are aware of what we want to do and which way we want to go.
Very interesting concept. So I believed so far until today that disruption was so changing things was the best thing to do in a so dynamic world, and you are reversing the thing, saying that evolution is better than disruption. We will have to talk about it a
Yeah,
little bit more to get
for
me
sure.
get a better understanding. But anyway, we have to stop it here. It's 1 p.m. Laura, incredible experience. We are so grateful. Great experience, and hopefully there will be more opportunities in the future to get back again and talk to you and share your very important experience. So,
Thank
Laura,
you.
thank you very much. Of course, we all wish you the best, you and SocialFare, and we are sure that you will all together maximize the impact on the Italian ecosystem and beyond Italy. So, thank
Thank
you very
you.
much.
Thank you,
Good.
Domenico, and thank you all.
And
Bye-bye.
thank you to all the students attending to this last innovation talk. Hopefully there's been a nice journey around innovation seen from different angles, and we'll come back to our classes and discuss all the topics that we listened to during the innovation talks. Thank you very much. Have a good day, all of you. Bye bye, Laura,
Hey,
again.
bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.